Right. Look at question number 62. Comprehension. Read the following scenario and answer the 3 questions that follows. An examination had 10 multiple choice question labeled from question number 1 to 10. Okay. So 10 question 1 to 10. Each question had 4 answer option A, B, C, D, of which one and only one was correct. For each correct answer, the candidate obtained 1 mark. There was no negative marking. For wrong answer, the answer chosen by 6 candidates named Om, Pawan, Kadir, Rakesh, Simranjeet, Tracy to each of the 10 questions, and the total marks obtained by each of them is shown in the table. Okay. So Om has got 2 correct. Pawan has got 5 correct. Kadir has got 7. Rakesh 3 out of 10. Simran 7 out of 10. And Tracy will have, has 2 out of 10 correct. Okay. All right. So this is the data which is given. Okay. So then look at what exactly they're asking in the question. What is the correct answer for Q5? For which D is the correct answer? Okay. Which of the following witnessed the least number of answered correctly out of this? Okay. So basically my first aim is to identify which all answers are correct. And then based on that, I'll be able to solve all 3 questions, right? So I know Kadir has done 7 correct, while Simranjeet has done she has also done 7 correct, or he or she, whatever this, right? So both of them have done 7 correct. Okay. Now out of the 10, if both of them have done 7 correct, so basically there has to be certain number of answers which have to be common, right? Okay. So if I look out for what can be the least possible common ways, so let's say Kadir has, right from, let me write it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's Kadir does these 7 correct. So therefore, if I have to look out for minimum number of common, so therefore I will say Simranjeet has done, first of all, these 3 correct. So now the remaining 4 correct of Simranjeet has to be common with the answers of Kadir. So therefore, Kadir and Simranjeet will have minimum 4 answers common which are correct. So let's see what exactly they have responded. How many common values are given? So for question number 1, it is A and D, commons, no common. Question number 2, A and C, not common. Question number 3, it is A and A common. Next 5, C and C common. Then we have got 7, 8, D and D common. And 10th is A and A common. So that means there are 4 common, right? So since the number of common answers are 4, so I can very well say these are the right answers, because we have to have at least 4 common answers which are right. So therefore I can say question number 3, A is the right answer. For question number 5, C is the right answer. For question number 8, D is the right answer. And question number 10th is the right answer. Okay, so that means I got to know 4 right answers. Let me write it above this. It is A, it is C, question number 8, it is D, and 10th it is A. Okay, so we get to know that these are the 4 right answers. So if question number 3, A is the right answer, so Pawan has done it right. Okay. Similarly, for question number 5th, Om has done it right. Question number 8, no one except these 2. Okay. Question number 10th is the correct answer, so no one. Okay. So that means I get to know third question, wrong, and wrong. Fifth question, wrong by this, and by this. Similarly, for eighth, this is D option. So everyone has given the wrong answer, except the Kadir and Simranjeet. And so as for question number 10th, the correct answer is A. Okay. So as of now, if we talk about Om, we've got one correct answer and the remaining three wrong answer. Pavan, we have got one correct and three wrong. And similarly for Kadir, we've got four correct. Simranjeet, four correct. Rakesh, all four are wrong as of now. And Tracy has again all four wrong. Okay. Right. Now, since we know Pavan has done 5 correct in total. Out of this, one I've got, and I know these three are not. So now the Pavan will have, out of the question number 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, and 9. Out of these 6, 4 are correct. While if you look at for Om, for this 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, only one is correct. Only one is correct. Okay. But if we observe carefully, answer to question number 1 by both Om and Pavan. This is for Om. This is Pavan. Answer given by for question number 1, it is D. It is B. And it is B for the first three. That means first three, that is 1, 2, and 4. Each of the Om and Pavan have given the same answer. So either both of them will be right or both of them will be wrong, right? So for Om, only one correct answer is left out of these, while for Pavan, we know 4 correct answer has to be there out of this. So we know out of these 3, 1, 2, 4, we cannot have 3 or 2 correct, because this way Om will have total number of correct answer more than 2, which is given. So therefore, out of 1 to 4, at max 1 is correct. So if out of 1 to 4, at max 1 is correct, and P has to have 4 correct answer. So therefore, at max 1 and this 3, 6, 7, 9 have to be correct. And therefore, in a sense, we can say Pavan has done 6, 7, 9 correct, because 3 has to be there, and 1 out of 1 to 4. Because I know the responses which are given by Om and Pavan are same for 1 and 2 and 4. So therefore, and Om has to have only one correct answer of the remaining. So therefore, for question number 1, 2, 4, we have to have exactly one correct answer, and the remaining answers by Pavan, which are D, A, and B for option number 6, 7, 9, have to be correct, because he has to has 5 correct. Okay. So therefore, I can say for Pavan, 6th is correct, 7th is correct, and 9th is correct, and 1 out of 1 to 4. 1 out of 1 to 4. Okay. So if D is the right answer for question number 6, let's try and see who all have got that correct. Kadir has got that correct. Tracy has got that correct. For question number 7, answer is A. So Rakesh has got this correct, and so as Simranjeet has got this correct. For 9th, it is B. So Rakesh and Simranjeet got this correct. Okay. So let's try and cancel who have not got this answer correct. Right. So let me for 6. Not the correct answer, not the correct answer, not the correct answer. For 7th, and similarly for 9th also. So if we look at the story so far, for Om, we've got 1 as of now. For Pawan, we've got 4 as of now, because 1 has to be out of 1 to 4, which has to be correct. For Kadir, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you've got 5 correct. Okay, so out of the remaining 3, 2 have to be correct. For Rakesh, we've got 1, 2, 2 correct. And for Simranjeet, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we've got 6 correct. So 1 out of the remaining 2. For Tracy, we have got 1 correct. So 1 is remaining. Okay. Right. So now for Simranjeet, for Simranjeet, 1 is left. For Kadir, we are left with 2. And similarly, we know for Om it is 1, Pawan it is 1, and Kadir, so Rakesh is going to be 1 and Tracy 1. So okay, we want 1 correct by all except Kadir, who has have to have 2 correct. 2 correct. Okay. Now let's try and see which option of Om can be the correct answer. Which option of the Om can be the correct answer? We can actually play with the option and try and see which of the following can be the possible value. Okay. Now let's say let's assume that question number 1, answer to that question is D. Just assume that answer to this question is D. If answer to this question is D, so therefore I can say Om has got it right. If first case, first it is D. So Om has got this right. So therefore Om will have now 2. Pawan has got this right. Therefore Pawan will have in total 5. Simranjeet has got this right. So therefore Simranjeet will have 7. So the total number are there. Om and then P and S. It is correct. Right. So therefore I can say if 1 is D, then second and fourth, the correct answer will be, because now Kadir have to have both the correct answer, because Kadir in total have 7. So for second and fourth, the correct answer has to be A and C. So this I'm taking the case. If first is D, then second and fourth have to be A and C. Now, if this is the case, if second is A and fourth is C, so Kadir will have 7. Kadir will have 7, right? And if second is this, so Rakesh has got this wrong, and also Rakesh has got fourth also wrong. So in that case, Rakesh will have only 2 correct, but they have given that Rakesh is 3. Therefore, 1 is D, 1D is not correct. So that means this case is ruled out. This case is ruled out. So now let's try and see, because I can eliminate with this, because this way I'm not getting number of 3 answers for this. Okay. So let's erase this. Let's erase this. This is not possible. Okay. Second case. This is case number 1. Case number 2. If second is B, that means Om got the second correct. So if second is B, so in that case, that second B is correct for Simranjeet as well. Second B is correct for Simranjeet as well. So Simranjeet will now have, Om will have 2 correct. Simranjeet will have 7 correct. And Pawan will have 5 correct. Right. So the other 2 have to be corrected for Kadir, because then only Kadir will have 7 correct. And therefore I can say for 1 it is going to be A, and for fourth it is going to be C. So let's see with this case. I'm saying first is A, second is B, and fourth is C. So first is A, Kadir got this correct, and fourth is C, Kadir got this correct, second got wrong, so Kadir will have 7. Okay, okay. Look out for Rakesh. If first is A, Rakesh will have the third correct. Second is B, Rakesh got it wrong. Fourth is C, so Rakesh will have 3. Rakesh will have 3. And if you look at Tracy, if first is A, Tracy got it right. Second is B, Tracy got it wrong. And fourth, so Tracy will have 1 more correct. That means Tracy will have 2 correct. So in total, we get to know Om will have 2 correct. S will have 2 correct, and S will have 7 correct, and P will have 5, 1, A, 4. So everything is satisfied. So therefore we get to know second is B, second is B, first is A, and fourth is C. Okay, so this is how you'll be able to get all the correct. Let's look at the question that they've given. What is the correct answer for Q5? So Q5, C is the correct answer. That means this option is correct. For which of these questions D is the correct answer? D is the correct answer for 6 and 8. 6 and 8. No, 6 is not there. So therefore, 8 is the right answer. Which of these questions witness the least number of students answer correctly? So 2, 10, 3, 4, 4, and 5. Least number correctly. So this is first is 3 people have done it. Second is 3 people have done it. Third is again 3 people have done it. 4. It's only C. Yeah. So that's the least basically out of this. Fifth it is 3. Sixth it is 3. Seventh it is 3. Eighth 2. 9 is 3. 10. Okay. So it's going to be fourth question, which is answered by least number of people. That is only 1. So this is how we'll be able to solve this question. Right. So let's look at question number 63 to 65. A pencil maker ships pencils in boxes of size 50, 100, and 200. Due to packaging issues, some pencil break. About the 20 boxes he has supplied to a shop, the following information is available. Right. Box number 1 through 6 have 50 pencil box. 7 to 16 have 17 pencil box, and 17 through 20 have 200 pencil box. Okay. No box has less than 5% or more than 20% broken pencil. Okay. So basically what they have given in is nothing but from 1 to 6, each box has 50 pencils. From 7 till 16, each box has 100 pencils. While from 17 to 20, each box has 200 pencils. Okay. Some pencils are broken, and they've mentioned that no box has less than 5% or more than 20% broken pencil. So basically 5% of 50 is going to be 2.5 and 20% will be 10. So number of pencils which are broken with total 50 pencil will range from 2.5 to 10. Similarly for 100 it's going to be from 5 to 20. And for 200, 5% of that is going to be 10. So from 10 till 20% is going to be 40. So all broken pencil line that range, if it is this. Okay. Following is a frequency table of the number of broken pencil for the 20 boxes. Okay. Okay. So it is 5 pencils broken. One box is there. Okay. Okay. Let me write it. Basically, it says number of box broken pencil per box. Okay. So there is one box with 5 pencil broken. Then we have got 2 boxes with 6 pencil broken, 4 boxes with 7 pencil broken, and then we have got 3 boxes with 9 pencil broken. So it's going to be 3 and it is 9. Then one box with 11 pencil broken, two box with 15 pencil broken, and then one box with 19 pencil broken. Then we've got 3 boxes with 20 pencil broken. This is 30 to 29. So one box with one with 19, 3 with this, and then after that one box with 29, one with 31, and one with 33. So in total 3, 7, 10, 11, 13, 14, 17, 20. So in total 20 boxes, and these are the pencil broken is given. Okay, okay. So now, so any number of pencils broken which are more than 20 has to be from 200, and any value which is less than 5 will be from this. Okay. So more than 20, we can figure out these are the 3. So this has to be from the box which are having 200 pencils in total. Okay. Any value which is more than 10 cannot be a part of 1 to 6. So therefore, if you talk about this, so these are the pencils broken from either 100 pencils wala box or 200 pencil wala box, basically, right? So we have got 4 boxes of 200. So therefore, out of this 3 plus 1, 4, 6 and 7, 6 are of 100, while one box is of 200 pencil. Because in total 200 we have got 4, 3 are already here. Okay. All right. So this is the information that we've got from this data. Let's see what exactly they're asking the question. Which of the following can possibly be the sequence of number of broken pencil in boxes 7 to 16? Okay. Number of broken pencil. So we know from 7 to 16, each box has 100 pencils. So out of the total 10 boxes which are there, which consist of 100. So we know 6 are there. So the remaining 4 boxes with 100 pencils have to be from this, while the 6 boxes are with 50 pencils. So we need to look out 4 values out of this and 6 values out of this. Okay. So let's look at the option, because they are saying which of the following can possibly be. So the option number A, if I look at, 7799 11 13 15 19 20 20. So 1 2 3 4. Okay, so we've got 20 20, then we've got 1 as 19 15 13. Okay, let's go back. So we want out of, there is no 13, no box with 13 pencil broken. So therefore I can say 13, this is eliminated, cannot be the answer. Okay, look out for the second one, 7 7 7 7. So we know there are 4 boxes of 7, then 1 for 11, 2 15, 19 and 20 20. Four boxes of 7. Okay, so that means that takes care of all the 4, and then 11 15 15 19 and 220. 11 15 15 19 and 220. So that is a possibility because this satisfied. Let's try and see. For C, 5 6 6, but 6 are there are 2 boxes with 6 pencil broken, therefore ruled out. Cannot be more than 20, ruled out. 11 15. So basically we have to take 6 from that. It has got only 5. So therefore we can say option number 2 is the answer. So we can actually look out of the option and then try and eliminate. So we can have other option also, but when I say can possibly, so we need to go into the options basically, right? Which of the following cannot be inferred conclusively from the given information? Cannot be inferred. A box with the highest percentage of broken pencil has 100 pencils. So we know there are 6 boxes out of these 7. So there'll be at least one box which will have 20 broken pencil out of 100, which is 20%. So therefore, a box with the highest percentage of broken pencil has 100 pencil. So 20% the highest. Yes, it is true. So it can be inferred. Since it can be inferred, then therefore it is not the answer. Exactly 3 boxes have 20% broken pencil. 20% will be either 10 or 20 or 40. So in this case, no. In this case, 20, and since there's no box with 10 pencil broken, so they are saying exactly 3 boxes are having 20%. But if this one box that contains 200 pencil, if 20 are the broken pencil in that, so in that case, this statement will not be true. And if it is 20, all 20 are from the 100, then it is going to be nothing but true. So therefore, exactly 3 boxes of, I cannot infer it, and therefore it is the answer to this question. Moving on. Next, suppose that additionally, it is known that the number of broken pencil in the boxes 17 to 20 are in increasing order. Okay. Which among the following additional information, if true, is not sufficient to uniquely know the number of defective pencil in each of the boxes numbered from 17 to 20? Okay. So basically, number of broken pencils are 17 in increasing order. Which among the following additionally, if true, is not sufficient to uniquely? Okay. So I know out of the 17, 18, 19 and 20, so there are 3 pencils which are 29, 31 and 33. And since it is increasing order, so let 29 will be for the box 18, box 19 and box 20. So now since it is increasing order, so value for 17 is going to be less than this, right? So now they're saying is not sufficient to uniquely identify that. So option A, boxes number 7 to 16 contains a total of 124 defective pencils. Okay. So 7 to 16. Now out of the 10 boxes which are from 7 to 16, out of the 10 boxes, 6 boxes are from this, basically 6 boxes. I've already mentioned that, right? Okay. So if I look at number of pencils in these 7 boxes, number of pencils in these 7 boxes are 20 into 3, that is 60, 19 into 1, that is 19, 15 into 2, that is 30, and 11 into 1, which is 11, and that is coming out to be 120. So 120 pencils are there from this bag, which will have 6 with total 100 pencils and 1 bag with total 200 pencils, right? So therefore minimum number of pencils in these 6 bags will be, when this 1 bag will have 20 pencil, which will have, if I subtract that 20, so these 6 boxes with 100 pencil will have minimum 100 broken pencil, or it is more than that, basically, right? So 100 broken pencil is the minimum value. Okay. So minimum 100, 7 to 16, 6 bags or boxes will have minimum 100 pencils. Right. Okay. If this minimum value is 100, and if I look at the boxes which are there, which have pencil 5, 6, 7, and 9, which are 1 in number, it was there 2, 4, and 3. Out of these, there are 4 boxes with 100 pencils. So if I look out what can be the minimum number of pencils in these boxes which are broken, so I will take 1 with 5, 2 boxes with 6, and 1 box with 7, which makes it total 5, 12, and 7, 24. So there are 24 minimum broken pencil from these 4 boxes, and 6 boxes minimum 100 pencil broken. So therefore the minimum number of pencils which are broken is going to be 124. Minimum is going to be 124. And if I look at what is the maximum value for that, I look out for maximum value for that. So in that case, these 6 boxes will have 120 minus 11, which is 109. And the maximum value for these 4 boxes will be nothing but 9 into 3 plus 7 into 1, which is 34. This is the maximum. This is the minimum. So basically in that case, 109 plus 34, that's 143. So 7 to 16, minimum value is 124. Maximum value is 143. So now question says, the option says boxes number 7 to 16 contain a total of 124. So there's only one possibility. There's only one possibility which will be there. If I take 100 pencils from 6 boxes, right? So 1 is of 11, 2 of 15, 1 for 19, and 2 as 20. Right? Okay, that makes it total 100. So therefore the third box with 20 broken pencil has to be from box 17, and therefore this is sufficient. So we're looking out for which is not sufficient, so this cannot be the answer. Boxes number 70 to 20 contain a total of 108 defective pencil. I already know 18, 19 and 20 will have in total 93 pencils which are defective. So in order to have that 108, we have to have 17 box, 15 pencil. There's only one option. So again, it is also sufficient. We are looking out for not sufficient, therefore it cannot be the answer. C, boxes number 17 contains, box number 17 contain more defective pencil than any box from 1 to 14. Any box from 1 to 14, box number 17 contains more pencil. So let's try and figure out what all broken pencils are there if I take from 1 to 14, right? So look out for the minimum so that we'll have more option for box number 17, right? So we've got 1, 5, 6 broken in 2, 7 in 4, 9 in 3. So in total 4 plus 3, 7 plus 2, 9. So 10 boxes with at max 9 pencil broken. Okay. Then we have got 11 pencil broken in one of the box, right? So 11 pencil broken in one of the box, and then 15 pencil broken in two boxes, 10 plus 11 plus 2, 13, and then one box with 19 pencil. So that means if in order to have 1 to 14 and look out for the minimum pencils which are broken, so we've got all the pencils are consumed right from 5 in one box till 19. So 1 to 14 are consumed in that. And now what we are left is nothing but 20, 20, 20, 29, 31 and 33. So these are already for box number which are from 17 to 20. In this, it is 18 to 20 because they are in increasing order. So therefore, the only possibility left for box number 17 is going to be 20. So again, this is also sufficient to get to an answer, and therefore it cannot be the answer because we are looking out for which is not sufficient, which is not sufficient. Now look at option number D. It says box number 11 to 16 contain a total of 101 defective pencils. Box number 11 to 16 the total number of defective pencils are 101. Let's see if we get to one of the conclusion or a unique answer for 17 or not. Box number 17, because I know 29, 31, 30 are already consumed. Okay. Now there is no order which is specifically mentioned, but only thing which I know is going to be nothing but boxes have to be 100. So the minimum broken pencil is going to be 5 and maximum is going to be nothing but 20 because it is in the range of 5 to 20. Okay. Right. And we know, let's say if I make this, if I give this 20, 20 and 20, that makes it 60. Okay. Okay. Now we have to take what else can be there to make this 101. 15, 15 and 11. So 60 plus 15, 75, 90, 101. Okay. So in this case, for box number 17, I end up getting 19 pencil for box 17. Okay. Let's see whether we can have any other case also. So if I take 20, 20, again 20, 19, 11, 60 and 30. Let's take it 15 only, sorry. So 20, 20, 20 makes it 60. 60 plus 19 is 79. 79 plus 15 is 94. 94 to make 101. I can take 7. I know minimum is going to be 5. It is more than that. So this way, if I take this value, so we can take the value given is going to be nothing but 15. So that is also a possibility. That is also a possibility, right? Because I mean, I know 7 to 16 we have to give pencils. So the other 7, 8, 9, 10 will be given a value which is 15 is one which is remaining. One of the 15 value which is given. 11 is something which is remaining. So that can be given. So basically 17 will have either 19 or 15. So therefore I can say with this data, it is not sufficient to uniquely identify what is there in box number 17, which may vary from 15 or it can be 19 as well. So this is the one of the probable answer. Look out for option number E, guys. Look out for option number E. I'm just erasing it, some portion here, so that I can solve this also. Let me erase this. Right. Okay, now question number, option number E says box number 7 to 16 contain a total of 133 defective pencils. 7 to 16, that means all the 10 box. So let me write it: 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So 3, 6, and 10. Okay, so we are looking out for, we need to place this 133 and see whether we can have only one option of filling it or more. We had seen that the mid range is going to be 124 to 143 basically. So let's try and see which all possibilities can be there for this. Which all, I know these bag contain right from 100, pencils from 7 to 16. So the number of defective will vary from 5 to 20. 5 to 20 basically. So we are looking out for all the options which are there for 5 to. So if we give 20 out here, 20 out here, and then 20 for this, 19 for this, we've got 15, 15. So now 11 will be, I'm just keeping 11 for box number 17. 20, 20, 20 makes it 16, 16, and 30 is 90. 90 plus 19 is 109. So we another need 24. We need another need 24. So that's going to be 7, 6, 6, and 5. We can have from 5%. So that makes this sum as 133. And in this, what we have not taken is nothing but we have not taken 11. So therefore, for this, box number 17 will have 11. Let's look at, is there any other option also for filling it? So if I take it, let's say 20, 20, and 20 again with 15, 15, 11. So I'm not keeping or taking 19, and we'll try and see whether 19 pencil can be in 17 with 133 in this 7 to 16. So that makes it 20, 60, 90, 90 plus 11 is going to be 101, 101. So we need another 32, so 9, 9, 9, and 5. 9, 9, 9, and 5. So again, that is also one of the possibility. And in this case, what we are left for 17 box is 19 pencils. Let's try whether we can have any other possibility also. So if I give 20, 20 and see whether 19 can be here or not. 19 out here, and then the same 15, 15, 11, 9, 9, 9, and what will give is nothing but, since I've changed 19 to 20 to 19, so one more. Therefore, that's also one of the possibility. And in this case, 20 will be there in box number 17. So again, we will not be able to uniquely identifying what is there in box number 17, even if there. So therefore, this is also the correct answer. So guys, I guess question number 65, ZAT22, both the answers are correct, right? Both the answers are correct. So ideally, it should not be counted in the total, right? So I'm just guessing both the answers are correct. So they should look at it. Okay, moving on. Question number 66. a tall tower has its base at point K. 3 points ABC are located at a distance of 4 meter, 8 meter, and 16 meter respectively from point K. The angle of elevation of the top of the tower from A and C are complementary. Now, when I say complementary, that means sum of these angle is 90 degree. 180 says supplementary, it's complementary, therefore it's going to be 90 degree. So let's make a tower. This is K, 4 meter, 8 meter, and 16 meter. So point is A, B, and C. Okay. The angle of elevation of the top of tower A and C are complementary. This angle is theta. So this angle will be nothing but 90 minus theta. Okay, okay. Let's say height of the tower is h. Height of the tower is h. And this point is A. So if I take the first smaller triangle, so I know tan theta is equals to perpendicular, that is h upon base is 4 because this distance is 4. While if I take the third, which the angle is 90 minus theta, so tan of 90 minus theta is equals to h upon 16. And I know tan 90 minus theta is equals to cot theta. So cot theta is h by 16, or tan theta is 16 by h. So if I look at the first and second, so therefore I can equate, and therefore I can say h upon 4 should be equals to 16 by h. So h square equal to 64, and therefore h is coming out to be 8. So height of the tower is going to be 8. Now we're supposed to identify what is the measure of angle B. So this angle is something we need to identify. Let's say this is alpha. So if I take this triangle, so tan alpha is equals to perpendicular height, which is 8, upon the ace, which is 1, and therefore alpha will come out to be 45 degree, and therefore that is the answer. Now since they have not mentioned that these are on the same side, so we may have a tower like this. One is at a distance of 4, the other is at a distance of 16. So, and these two angles are theta and 90 minus theta. So my answer would have again come out to be same. So it hardly matters it was on which side, process would remain same, and therefore we know it's going to be nothing but 45 degrees is the answer to this. All right, guys. Question number 67. It says, consider the real valued function fx. We are looking for the real value, log of 3x minus 7 and root of 2x. Okay, and we are looking out for the domain of this. So basically, what all values that can be there, domain for fx, that's going to be the values which can be given to x. So I know log of 0 negative number is not defined. So therefore, if log of 3x minus 7, log of 3x minus 7. So I know this 3x minus 7 has to be greater than 0, or 3x is greater than 7, or x is greater than 7 by 3. X is greater than 7 by 3. So that means for this value to exist, x has to be greater than 7 by 3. Otherwise, it is not possible, right? So any value which is less than 7 by 3, it will lead to a wrong answer. Okay. Okay. So therefore, Option number B cannot be the answer. A real number minus this again cannot be the answer. A real number minus only these three values again cannot be the answer. A real number minus 7 by 3. I know any value which is less than 7 by 3 is not possible. So therefore, option is going to be E is the answer to this question number 67. All right, so quite straightforward. From the numerator only, I'll be able to eliminate the remaining choices, and therefore, option number E is the answer. We can make the factors and of this 2x square minus 7x plus c. We can make the factors, and then also we can just look out. Basically, we can identify two roots are there, which are nothing but by breaking the middle term as minus 4x and minus 3x, we can get this, but need not to do it because I can directly get this answer. Right, guys, moving on. 68. Nadeem's age is a 2-digit number x and squaring which yields a 3-digit number whose last digit is y. So Nadeem's age is x, which is a 2-digit number, squaring which, so if I took a square of that, it will become nothing but a 3-digit number. So basically 31 square is 961, 32 square is more than 3 digits. So therefore I know Nadeem or x is less than equal to 31. Okay. And they've stated squaring yield 3-digit number whose last digit y. So this is y. This is y. Consider the statement below. Now, statement 1 says y is a prime number. So we need to tell whether we can identify or get the answer from this. If y is a prime number, therefore y will be 2, 3, 7, 5 also. 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. So basically, if we look at prime number, so y can be 2, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Now I know prime, if I take a square of any number, that will never end in 2, and never end in 3, and it never ends in 7 as well. So therefore, last digit, that is y, is going to be either 5 or 9. Right, so it will be either 5 or 9. So basically, number ending with 5, so it's going to be 15 square. So one of the possibility for x is going to be 15. Square is 225. 25 square is 625. And ending with 9, sorry, y is a prime number, it is also given. So that means we cannot have the possibility of 9 also. So with this, only 15 and 25 are the 22 possibilities of the age of Nadeem, because this will lead to 225 and this will end with 625. All right. So therefore, with y is a prime number, we have got two possibility. I know the value of y, but what is Nadeem's age is either 15 or 25. So therefore, only one is sufficient. Is not the right answer. Either of 1 and 2 by itself is sufficient. No, 1 is not sufficient. So I can say this cannot be the answer. Okay. So that means we can eliminate it, 2 options. Now statement number 2 says y is 1/3 of x. Now just forget about that. Y is a prime number. Okay. Only focusing on statement number 2, and they're saying that x square is a 3-digit number and y is x by 3. Y is x by 3. So now y is not a prime number they've given, but then y is x by 3. So I know when y is x by 3, so let's try and see, or in other word, we can say x equal to thrice of y. So square of any number, if you take 1 square, it's going to be 1 number ending with 2, 4. It's going to be 3, 9, then 4, 16, 5 is 25, 6 is 36. So square of any number will always end with 1, 4, 9, 6 and 5. So therefore, y can be any number out of 1, 4, 9, 6, 5. And they have also given that x is 3 times of y. X is 3 times of y. So if we place y as 1, so x will be 3, which is not possible because x is a two-digit number. If y is 4, so in that case, x will become 12 and 12 square is 144. So that's one of the possibility. If y is 9, this is first case. Second case, if y is 9, so x will become 27. And then 27 square is 729. Which is again 9 3 27 is a possibility. Okay. And then when we say after this, if it is ending in 6, so basically if y is equal to 6, so x will become 18. 18 square is 324, which is not ending in this. So y equal to 6 is not a possibility. If y is equals to 5, so that will become 15 square. X will become 15, and therefore 225 is also one of the possibility. So that means with first we have got statement number 1, we've got two possibility. X will be either 15 or 25. With the only second statement we end up getting X will be 12 or 27 or 15. All three possibilities are there. So that means only 2 is sufficient is again not the answer. Okay, now we have to check whether combining this we are getting a unique result. So y is a prime number. So therefore x will be either 15 and 25, and y is 1/3 of x. So that means which was there in, so we're looking out for the common portion or a common value. So there is only one common value, that is x equal to 15, which is there. If I combine, I've got a unique solution. So therefore it is necessary to and sufficient to take the 1 and 2 together is going to be my answer. I am able to get the unique answer, which is the answer to this question. Okay. All right, guys, moving on. Question number 69. It says Fatima found that the profit earned by the Bala Dosa stall is a 3-digit number. So profit is a 3-digit number. She also noticed that the middle digit is half of the leftmost digit. So let's say these are the 3-digit and middle digit is half of the leftmost digit. Okay. So if middle digit is x, so leftmost is going to be 2x. While the rightmost digit is 3 times the middle digit, it's going to be 3x. So it's a 3-digit number. Profit is a 3-digit number. And they mentioned that middle digit, and this is the middle digit, first a leftmost, and then okay. Then she randomly interchanged the digit and obtained a different number. Okay. And this number was more than the original number by 198. Okay. So while switching, the original number was, is increased, and the new number will become the original number by 198. So now we've got initially the first digit is 2x. So I wanted to have a number which is more than this. So obviously 3x has to be there at the first place, right? So we've got two possibilities. This is x and 2x, or 3x with middle digit is going to be 2x and it is x. So that means when I change, this was the original number, and this was the number which is obtained. Case 1 could be this, case 2 could be this. Now they also mentioned that the new number was more than the original number by 198. Okay, so I know if there's a 3-digit number, so ABC, the value will be nothing but 100A plus 10B plus C. So basically the value for the original number will be nothing but 100 into 2x plus 10 into x plus 3x, which is coming out to be nothing but 213x is the original number, the value of the original number. While the value of the new number, if I take the first case, it is going to be nothing but 100 into 3x, which is 300x, plus 10 into x plus 2x, which is coming out to be nothing but 312x. While if I take the second case, so this into 100, this into 10, this is to 1, so 321x. So the new number will be, which is obtained, will be either this or it is this. Now they have mentioned that the new number is 198 more than the original one. So 312x minus 213x is equals to 198 change. That means 99x is equals to 198 or x equal to 2. If x equal to, okay, I've got x equal to 2. So therefore the number was 2, 4 and 6. This is with the first case. If I take the second case, so 321x minus 213x is equals to 198. So that means 108 x equals to 198. So x is not an integer. And therefore it is not possible. And therefore hence x equal to 2. Question is the middle digit of the profit amount. Okay, so it is 2, which is the answer to this question. Okay, moving on. Right. The Madhura Fruits company is packing 4 types of fruit into the boxes. 126. There are 126 oranges. Okay. 162 apples. Oranges. Apples. 198 guavas. And 306 pears. Okay. The fruit must be packed in such a way that the given box must have only one type of fruit. Okay, so if it's going to be orange, it's going to be all orange, apple, and similarly for the other two also. And must contain the same number of fruit in all the boxes. What is the minimum number of boxes that must be used? So to have minimum boxes, we will have maximum number of fruit in each box. So maximum of 126, 62, 198 and a factor of that. Factor and a maximum one, because then only we'll have minimum number of boxes. Right. So if I take the HCF of all these 4 number, if you break it, 126 is 3 square into 2 into 7. 162 is 3 to the power 4 into 2. Okay. It's nothing but 198 is nothing but 3 square into 2 into 11. And it is coming out to be nothing but 3 square 9 into 2, that is 18 into 17. So if I look at HCF of these 4 number is 3 square into 2, which is going to be nothing but 18. So that means we have to pack 18 fruits in each box to have minimum number of boxes. So 18 fruits, which will make 7 boxes for this, 9 boxes for this, 11 for this, and 17 for this. So 7, 9, 16 plus 11, 27 plus 17 is 44 is the answer to this question. All right, guys, moving on. Kim's wristwatch always shows the correct time, including AM and PM. Okay, Kim shows the correct time. Jim's watch is identical to Kim's watch in all aspect except its pace, which is slower than the pace of, Okay. So Jim's watch is identical to Kim's watch, except it is lower at the base. It is lower at the. So it sets his watch to correct time, but an hour later, it shows 12:57. Okay. At 12 noon on the next June 1st, Jim resets his watch to the correct time. On how many instances between and including 12 noon on these two dates mentioned, Jim and Kim watches show this exact time, including AM and PM. Okay, okay. So basically, 1st January, it is set right at 12 noon. 1st June in the same year, again set right at 12 noon. 12 noon. Okay. So we have to look out how many times it has appeared and happens in between, including these two values. Right. And they want, I mean, I know one of the is Kim's clock is running right while Jim is losing 3 minutes every hour. So that means in every hour, the gap between them is 3 minutes. Now, guys, I mean, if I want to see the same time in terms of AM and PM, we want a gap of 24 hours. Because the moment gap is 24 hours, if one of the clock is, let's say, showing 7 p.m., so the other clock will show 24 hour ahead of that, which is 7 p.m., or 24 hour behind that, the others, that's 7 p.m. So therefore, we have to have a gap of 24 hours, which is 24 into 60, 1440 minutes. We want the gap of 1440 minute, and in every hour there's a gap of 3 minutes. So therefore, total time taken to show the same time again is going to be 1440 divided by 3, which is 480 hours, which is as good as 20 days. 20 days. So therefore, 20 days is the gap which is required for this to show the same time, right? So that was first day, then 21st of January, then after 21 days, 41, then after 21, 61, then it is 81, then it is 101, 121, 141. So the number of days which are there are 5 months, which is close to 150. And again, we've got 21, the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then again 1st of June. So 7 plus 2, 9 is my answer to this question. All right, question number 72 to 74, comprehension. Read the following scenario and answer the 3 questions that follow. Okay, okay, okay. Right, it says the enrollment of student in thousands at each of the 5 universities named as MPU, TSU, LTU, PQ, and TRU during each of the 8 years from 14 to 21. Okay, 2014 to 21, all data is given. Okay, okay. Now, the names of these universities are not shown in the chart. Instead, they are labeled as University 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so universities 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right. So if I look at university 1, so this is 1. University 2 is this. Okay. 3 is the circle one. 4 is this. And 5 is this. Okay, these are the 5 universities which are there. Okay, okay. Let's see what exactly they are asking. However, these 4 pieces of information are available. The magnitude of TRUs and MPUs net change in enrollment between 14 and 21 are closest among any of the two universities. So TRU and MPU have got the net change very close. Okay. So net change, that means the initial and the final value. So this is starting point for this third university 3 and here almost same. So net change is very negligible. For university 2, it is very high. For 3 again, it is there. For 4, again very close. For 5, it is high. So basically we get to know 3 and 4 are the universities which have got a very high, I mean, the change is very less. So the net change is closest possible. And they have mentioned that TRU and MPU have got net change which is closest. Net change which is closest for TRU and MPU. Okay. So net change is closest. So one of the possibility will be this as TRU or MPU. TRU or MPU. Okay. Let's see what is the net change in the other. It is 6.5 and it will become for University 5. It is 3.2. So 3.3 changes there. For University 2, it changes from 1 point less than 2 to this change is close to 4. And for this 3 point something to close. So obviously in the other 3, the change is not same. So we know that it means either University 3 or 4 will be either TRU or MPU. LTU had the same number of enrollment in the consecutive year, at least twice between 14 and 21. LTU have same number. Okay. So when you talk about LTU, we are left with 1 to 5. Okay. So if you look at, this is same in 2 year and this is also same. Okay. For the other, this is not happened. So therefore we can say directly that 1 is going to be LTU. 1 is going to be LTU, right? And TRU and MPU are among 3 and 4. So we can say 3 and 4 will be TRU and MPU. Okay, so let's look at the next information. The increase in JSU's enrollment from 15 to 19 is 50% of TRU's enrollment in 2020. So JSU's increase from 15 to 90 is 50% of TRU in 2020. So JRU from 15 to 19, that increase is 50% of TRU in 2020. So when I say TRU in 2020 will be either this or this. Okay. So that means TRU in 2020 will be either 5 or it is 0.75. Okay, so 2020 TRU will be either 5 or that's gonna be 0.75. Okay, and down. So basically JSU's increase from 15 to 19. So I know JSU will be either 2 or 5. 5, there is no increase. So JSU has to be 2. JSU has to be 2. So increase from 15 to 19. 19, the value is 5.2 approximately, and here it is 2.6. So change is 2.6, and it is 50% of what? 5. So therefore, I can straight away say that 4 is going to be TRU, 3 is going to be MPU, 2 will be JSU, and therefore 5 will be PKU. Okay. The enrollment in one of the LTU and PKU had steady decline between 14 and 21, while the enrollment in the other have no decline in any two consecutive in the same period. Okay. So eventually I'm able to get the answer, but then with Z also, I can straight away say that continuously decrease in one of LT2 and PQA, steady decline, while the other have steady increase. Okay. All right, let's look at the questions. Which of the 5 universities can University 4 possibly be? So University 4 is going to be nothing but which of the 5 universities can University 4 possibly be? So University 4 is TRU. We know that. So not straightforward. It is only TRU is the answer. Which university enrollment was around twice that of LTU in 2014? So LTU is 1. 2014, the value is approximately slightly more than 0.1. Sorry, LTU is 1 and 1 is this. So the value is approximately 3.2 or 3.3. LTU, this is 1, and looking at double of that, 6 point something, which is University 5, which is PKU. Okay, so University 5. So twice that of LTU is going to be only PKU is the answer. Which among the pieces of information mentioned below, if removed, will not prevent us from uniquely identifying the 5 universities? We have seen that we did not require the last statement, which was Z. Without that, I was able to get it. So I know Z is one of those option. If eliminated, I would still end up getting all this. So option number D is ruled out. And since Z is there, so therefore I'll mark that as an answer. Okay. So that's got to be the answer, because without this also I was able to get every information. Okay. Question number 75. Last question. Vilma, Xavier, Yaska, and Jakir are 4 young friends who have a passion for integers. One day, each of them select one integer and write it on a wall. The writing on the wall shows that Xavier and Jakir picked up positive number. Let me write it. William, Xavier, Y, and Z. So the writing on the wall shows Xavier and Jakir picked up a positive number. Positive. Yashka picked a negative number, while Vilma's integer is either a negative or okay. So it is either a negative or a 0 or positive. So nothing is stated about this. Okay. But it is integers for everyone. Okay. If their integers are denoted by the first letter of their respective names, the following is true. So w is bar 4 x cube y square, and okay, x cube plus z is greater than 2, and then okay, this is given. So now it says we are supposed to identify what is the value of square of the sum of all four. Sum of the square of all four, basically. Okay. Now, w to the power 4 and y square is less than equal to 2. Okay. Y square plus z is greater than equal to 3. So if I say y square plus z is greater than equal to 3, y is a negative integer. So square of that will be positive, plus z, which is already positive number, is greater than equal to 3. Okay. That is there. Right. This is one which is given. Then they've also mentioned fourth power of this plus y square is less than equal to 2. Again, y square is going to be positive, and w to the power 4 will always be either 0 or a positive number. Right, will always be 0 or a positive number. Okay. And then they also mentioned that x cube plus z is greater than equal to 2. Right, and they also mentioned that w to the power 4, x cube, y square, and z is less than equal to 4. Now z is a positive integer, y square is also a positive integer, x square will be positive integer, and w to the power 4 will either be 0 or 1. Okay. Right. So therefore, I got to know from this that y, which is a negative integer, cannot be 2 or more than 2. Right. So I get to know y has to be less than 2, because had y been 2 or minus 2, square of that will be 4, and summation would always be more than 4. So therefore, y will be nothing but minus 1. With the same logic, x cube, x is a positive number, so x has to be 1. X has to be 1. Right, because otherwise, if x is going to be nothing but more than 1, an integer, the sum will, when the cube of that will be actually more than 4, and therefore this will not hold true. Okay, now I know x is plus 1 and y is minus 1. Now, if y is minus 1 and x is plus 1, so y is w to the power 4 plus y square is less than equal to 2. So eventually I can say that also says y has to be minus 1 only, because if y is minus 2, again I end up getting this. So again, if y is going to be minus 1 is something which I got to know from here. All right, y square plus z is greater than equal to 3. So when y is minus 1 was square 1, so 1 plus z is greater than equal to 3, or z will always be greater than equal to 2. So the minimum value for z is going to be 2. Now, if we place this z greater than equal to 2 in the first equation, I know y is minus 1 and x is plus 1, and z minimum value is going to be 2 or more than that. It cannot be more than 2, because in that case, this first sum will exceed 4. So therefore, I can say z has to be 2 only. Now, if z is going to be 2, so if you look at again the first equation, so that's going to be 2 plus 1 plus 1, 4. So therefore, w to the power 4 has to be 0, and therefore I can straight away say this will be equal to 0. So since we are able to identify values for w, x, y, and z, so now the question says, given the above, which of these is possibly evaluate to? Okay, so I know w square is going to be 0, z square is going to be 4, y square is going to be 1 and 1. The sum will be equal to 6, which is an answer to this question. Right, guys? So I hope all of you have understood each and every question which we have talked about. So this is what is from my end, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye and take care.